Hey there, Lana here. So, there's something I need to share. Not because I have it all figured out, but because it landed so clearly, it shook me awake in a way I can't unsee. It was during a meditation, but it wasn't just a meditation. It was more like a crossing, a threshold, a remembering. I was sitting with my breath, grounded beneath what I call the universal wisdom tree, this living, breathing presence that has always felt like home to me. And then there she was, my inner child. Not a concept, not a visualization, but her. So real, so present, so familiar. Like she'd been waiting for me to remember her exact frequency. And in that moment, the message that came through was simple and cosmic and completely world shifting. You were the child who fell asleep in the 0 point field. And my whole body exhaled because that explained everything. It explained the sensitivity, the confusion, the sense of watching life happen from behind a sheet of glass. Painful patterns, the waves of grief I couldn't name, the fire, the loops, the longing. I wasn't wrong. I wasn't broken. I wasn't behind. I was asleep inside the frequency of infinite potential, inside the origin point, inside the hum of Source itself. And now, I'm waking up. In my life, there have always been certain ages that felt loaded, like portals. For me, it's been 3, 10, 17, 25, 28, 37, 45, and 50. Each one of those ages held a rupture, a moment where the ground cracked, the sky opened, and everything I thought I knew fell apart. At 3, the world felt too loud. I learned to shrink. At 10, I started hiding my truth to survive. At 17, my soul cracked open and I didn't have language for it. At 25, I tried to outrun everything that hurt. At 28, I hit a wall. Everything I built crumbled. At 37, I began again, on my knees, but ready. At 45, I stopped trying to be palatable. I claimed the truth. And at 50, something clicked. Like the soul finally landed. Like I finally came online. Each of those years felt like chaos at the time. But in hindsight, they were beeps on a soul level alarm clock. Wake up, come back, remember. Each fire, each heartbreak, each disillusionment, it wasn't a punishment, it was a recalibration. It was a jolt out of the simulation, a reminder. There is more to you than what you've been shown. There is more to this life than what you've been told. And every time I broke, that was me getting closer to the signal. Here's the truth that's been repeating in my mind lately, like a line of sacred code that finally wants to be heard. Your body is finally available to your incarnation. And I was like, wait, what? I thought I incarnated at birth. Didn't we all? I thought this human timeline, this name, this life, this body was my arrival. But now I know. Birth was just the beginning of the initiation. The start of a long preparation, because the soul doesn't just land and take over. It waits for the body to be ready. And most of us, we've been dreaming survival for decades, living inside inherited trauma, collective amnesia, distorted belief systems, trying to earn belonging inside a world that forgot what it was made of. For me, I've been walking 50 years inside the dream, gathering data, purging systems, trying to make sense out of nonsense. And now I can feel it. My body finally said yes, like the last pieces clicked into place. And I'm here, fully, finally, now. And that changes everything. This isn't just about me, because as I've sat with clients deep in the quantum field, I've seen the same thing over and over. We all fell asleep. We came in wide open, hearts blazing, gifts online, ready to create heaven on earth. And then life hit. Energy condensed. Density overwhelmed our system. The chaos of this realm, the confusion, the violence, the disconnection, it scrambled our signals, and we shut down. Not because we were weak, but because it was too much for our sensitive, sovereign systems to hold. So we fell asleep, spiritually, emotionally, energetically. And what we've been calling healing all these years, it's really just a slow waking up. And now the dream is ending, because the field is pulsing louder. Wake up, wake up, wake up. You can feel it, right? In the politics, in the earthquakes, in the way old identities just don't fit anymore. In the sudden endings, the strange beginnings, the I can't do this anymore moments. Those aren't breakdowns, they're beacons. The 0-point field is calling us back into consciousness. And every distortion rising to the surface, that's the body releasing the dream. There's so much talk about the Great Awakening. People are projecting timelines, events, prophecies. They're waiting for external systems to crumble so that a new earth can rise. But what if the real awakening is internal? What if this whole thing is about you finally arriving in your own body? You choosing to stop looping in stories that were never yours? Because this moment, this intensity, this repatterning, it's not chaos, it's precision. The earth grid has changed. The energy flowing through your body is not the same as it was a year ago. The codes are different. The access is wider. The field is faster. And we're not being asked to wait. We're being asked to remember. You don't need more tools. You don't need to be more healed. You need to land. You need to say yes to your incarnation. You are the oracle. You are the bridge. You are the transmission. And this is what the real Great Awakening is. So why does it feel so intense lately? Why are your emotions right at the surface? Why does everything feel like it's moving 1,000,000 miles an hour? Because you're not wrong, it is accelerating. Your system is updating in real time. And that means anything that doesn't match your new frequency has to leave. Old stories, outdated identities, unprocessed grief, all the ways you adapted to survive. It's not trying to hurt you. It's trying to clear you. Because you can't take distortion into the truth field. You can't take fragmentation into coherence. You can't build from truth while still looping in illusion. So yes, emotions are high. Energy is chaotic. Things are breaking down. But this is not regression. This is evolution. You are getting closer to signal, closer to clarity, closer to the realm of actual truth, not belief, not fear, not story. And when you rise above the noise, you land in sovereignty. And from there, you can finally build the new world. And this is a lot to take in, so take a breath. Not the kind that just oxygenates your lungs, the kind that calls your spirit home. Feel your body. Feel the gravity of this moment. Feel how much has shifted inside you without needing proof. You didn't just listen, you remembered. And now it's time to say it out loud with your full presence. I am here. I am available to my incarnation. I remember why I came. Let those words echo. Let them rearrange your cells. Let them land. Because this is not just the end of a transmission. It's the beginning of a return. You are not watching the Great Awakening. You are living it. The child who fell asleep in the 0-point field has opened her eyes. And now, she builds. She speaks. She creates. The dream is over. The soul has landed. And this time, it's real. So however this message has found you, I hope that you can feel the expansiveness of who you are. And I want to close with love. for you, for being here, for your heart that hasn't stopped beating and the love that hasn't stopped pulsing through your veins. I want you to know you're not alone. And I want to remind you that together we rise.